Today on What It's Like, we have an absolutely gorgeous 1933 Nash Ambassador riding on the longest wheelbase Nash offered in 1933, the 142-inch wheelbase with the big 322 cubic inch displacement inline twin ignition 8 under the hood. But before getting into this one, if this is your first time stumbling on this channel, and you're into all things automotive, let me tell you, you hit the proverbial jackpot. History, specs, design. It's hard to believe that this is our 641st episode to date, all in mini documentary format. So if you like this episode, there are 640 episodes just like this one with different subject material, of course. So be sure to check out the backlog. Also, we have it divided down into playlists. So if you figure out that you like watching engine episodes, we have a playlist for that. If you like watching cars from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 20s, they're all divided into playlists, making it easier to find each individual episode. So be sure to subscribe and hit the like button next to it, which really helps more people see these videos in the future. I just wanted to tell you this. Our channel hit a major milestone last week. We hit 100,000 views on a single video in a week, which is huge. Thank you guys for making that possible. On to the meat and potatoes. 1933 Nash model lineup was broken down into 5 models or 5 series. Starting out in the proverbial basement with the Big 6 Series 1120 riding the 116-inch wheelbase, followed by the Standard 8 Series 1130, which rode the same 116-inch wheelbase. Both the Big 6 and the Standard 8 are identical in appearance to the 1932 Big 6. The middle of the road option was the Special 8 Series 1170 riding the longer 121-inch wheelbase. Advanced 8 Series 1180 rides 128 in the wheelbase, and at the top sat the Ambassador 8 Series 1190, which rides the longest wheelbase options of 133 or 142 inches in the wheelbase. It's important to note that only 3 body styles were offered in the 142-inch wheelbase chassis: the sedan, Brougham, and limo. All of the other body styles would get the 133-inch wheelbase chassis. The 1933 models were essentially carryovers from 1932, which were really a thing of beauty. Nash would offer the Ambassador from 1927 through 1957. Ambassador would continue on as top model over at AMC when the Nash nameplate was retired in 1957. Back in 1954, Hudson and Nash would merge to form one of the most overlooked, underappreciated companies to ever spawn God's green earth, American Motor Corporation, or AMC for short. AMC would keep the Ambassador from 58 to 74. When the name was retired in 1974, it was one of the oldest names in the automotive industry, having a 47-year run. Between the two companies, 6 generations when Nash made the Ambassador, 8 generations when AMC made the Ambassador, 14 generations total. 1933 falls in the Old Testament, second generation under Nash. And just to be clear, Nash didn't really call them generations, but they were year ranges. 1932 through 1934 is the second generation and or dates. 32, 33, 34. This era could also be called the Kenosha-Duesenberg era because Nash would move up market and they just look fantastic. Low slung with stock low roof profile. Some features worth pointing out: adjustable full range ride control, which is a hydraulic system. The lever on the dash controls resistance of the shock absorbers at will and can change the ride from soft to firm. This is 1933. It's 2025, and most cars that are made now don't even have this feature. Chassis lubricator at a press of a button. When the lubricant reservoir is full, it will lubricate key components on the chassis. Another feature not found on 2025 cars. Steering gear is the worm and roller variety mounted in roller bearings. Brakes, 4-wheel, internal expanding mechanical 2-shoe, single anchor, cable operated 13-inch drum brakes on all 4 corners. The parking brake acts on all 4 wheels. Let's talk specs on the 1933 Nash Ambassador 8. It could either ride the 133 or the 142-inch wheelbase. It weighs 4,500 pounds. Price, $1,900, which would be equivalent to you spending $46,428.84 in the year 2025. Total 1933 Nash production was 14,973 units. Moving on to engine, only one engine powering the Ambassador, and it was the top of the line 322 cubic inch displacement overhead valve inline twin ignition. 5.3 liters. It was good for 125 horsepower, 3,600 RPM, estimated 200 pound-feet or 271 newton meters, around 1,800 RPM, with a bore of 3.375 inches and a stroke of 4.5 inches. Compression was 5.2 to 1, 9 main bearings. If you want to know more about this engine, we covered it in an engine episode. If you're interested in watching that video, I'll link it up there in the corner, as well as link it in the description. I found this 1933 Nash Ambassador 8. It's part of a private collection in an undisclosed garage in Pennsylvania. Let's talk styling on this absolutely gorgeous car. Very elegant bumper in the front. Notice it's just a single blade. It doesn't have any overriders in or bumperettes, with Nash logo in the center. Just look at how far this chassis comes out. All of this negative space in here, but notice all of the beads down there. Absolutely gorgeous grille. Comes to a point here in the center. Also notice it's like bars over top of grille material. This brace comes to a point here. The headlights are attached to it with horns just below that. And this bar adds fender rigidity so the fenders don't flap going down the road. Just look at all this beadwork. Absolutely massive headlights. My hand's 7.5 inches, just to give you scale of how big this is. Headlight buckets are huge as well, and they're bright. This one doesn't have like a traditional mascot, but just look at all the cascading lines going up to this piece here. And notice it's the Nash, it's one of the wings of the Nash logo right here, only it's reversed. The top portion, or I'm sorry, the bottom portion here is the top portion up here. So just take a look at all of this bright work on the radiator shroud. It does have a center line. This trim piece covers up the butterfly hinge for the hood, going back towards the single piece windshield with windshield wipers that come together, and they're mounted at the top. Beautiful running lights. Just look at all of the detail and intricacy going on with that. Also notice from top down it kind of sort of looks like a heart. Beautiful wire wheels with Nash badge in the center. Just look at all that pinstriping work. running boards are absolutely gorgeous. How it flows into the running board. It has side mounts, louvers. Has two cowl vents, his and hers. Just look at all the two-tonedness. Just look how petite these arms are. Love how the windshield wipers are just tucked up here. Side mirrors are placed, or attached, I should say, to the door. 3 hinges on this door. So just look at all of these beads in the running board. This car does have drip rails. This one starts here and it runs the length of the car. And just look at all of the different lines going on. This one also has 3 hinges for the rear door. The rear fenders just kick out back here with the beadwork to match the front. Taillights are bright. Gas filler cap is bright. This one has an external trunk, which is painted the body color of the car. Bumper in the back mimics the bumper in the front. Before getting inside, just look at how nice Art Deco these door handles are. This material looks like a newer, more modern interior, but it still looks nice. This is metal, painted to look like wood. Just look at how it frames out. Door handle to get out, window crank for the big window, which operates like this. Here is all the data. This is the data plaque. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, you have clutch, brake, gas pedal, emergency braking or hand brake. Just take a gander at this interior. Man, look how far back that back seat is. It's way back there. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. Up above, there aren't any sun visors, but there's the button for the windshield wiper. This is a crank for the windshield to crank out. Rear view mirror in center. The other button for the other windshield wiper. Onto the button switches and knobs. Starting over here, you have the starter. This is a glove box. You got amp meter, coolant temperature, 100 mile per hour speedometer with odometer and tripometer, cigarette lighter, heater, clock, gasoline gauge, oil pressure, choke. Believe it or not, this thing has ride control, so you can soften or firm the springs or the shocks. And there is the key for the ignition. And this is another glove box over here. Coming to the rear door. The rear door has a map pocket in the side, as well as door handle, window crank for the big window, painted metal to look like wood. Just take a gander at this interior back here. Look how far back the seat is. You got a footrest. It's all nicely carpeted. Has a robe rail on the back of the seat to hang a heavy blanket on in the wintertime so you don't freeze. The quarter windows also go down. Has the ashtray cigarette lighter combo over there, as well as something to hold on to. There is a privacy shade, as well as lights in the corners, and another privacy shade in the back, as well as another privacy shade over here. This side only has the ashtray, no cigarette lighter. And as previously mentioned, the windows do go down with that T-handle there. Just check out the armrest. It's kind of built into the wheel well, or the wheel opening. This is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse, or the pillar to glass ratio. It's pretty cozy in here, but that's what this car probably should feel like. This is what visibility looks like out the back from the back seat. Taking a real quick gander under the hood, and I apologize, I have no idea what happened to the footage of the under the hood section, so we're going to do it this way. Starting on the driver's side, intake and exhaust is on the driver's side. Generator with a shaft that comes out of the generator itself, which powers the water pump. Updraft carburetor, there is a wheel with a spring on the top. On the bottom, there is a wire cable which controls the choke. Also notice there is a pretty hefty pipe at the bottom of the carburetor which runs to this canister, which is the air filter. It's a bit hard to see, but there are spark plugs on this side as well as the other side. There is a hole in the block right behind the carburetor where the spark plug wires go through to get to the other side. On the other side, the spark plugs are mounted just slightly higher on this side than they were on the driver's side. It's very interesting. This engine design has the spark plugs coming in at different angles. Oil filter in that external canister. There is a mechanical fuel pump just diagonal to it. Single distributor with 16 spark plug wires going into it. Vacuum fuel pump on the firewall with 2 coils just below it, and then the engine starter. On the promising side, positive side, absolutely gorgeous car. Definitely a Kenosha Duesenberg, very stately, tons of space in the rear of this car. The roof has a low profile. This uses the largest twin ignition engine ever made by Nash. The 1932 through 1934 Ambassador is considered a classic by the AACA. And in my opinion, this car is drastically underrated for what it is. Against it, not much. I can't think of anything other than it's hard to find parts, and people who know these cars inside and out are getting very few and far between. Said to be mechanically complex. Brakes are cable operated, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about buying one of these. Cable brakes. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. 3 scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1933 Studebaker President, or a 1933 Nash Ambassador, or 1933 Chrysler Imperial CL? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. On to the second scenario, and these aren't fair by any stretch of the imagination, and they may or may not be in the same price point, but which one would you rather have? 1933 Buick Model 57, or 1933 Nash Ambassador, or 1933 Graham Blue Streak? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. On to the final scenario. 1933 Cadillac 355-C, or 1933 Nash Ambassador 8, or 1933 Packard 8. Once again, go to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time for free, pause the video. Name that tune. First person to give both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching till the very end. I appreciate everything that you guys bring in the comment section. I love reading the stories and the memories that you guys share. Until next time, toodaloo! Welcome to the after show. This part of the video doesn't have any sound or commentary, but you get to see this car up close like you've never saw it before. Enjoy.